What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to the channel. In my last video I told you guys that we moved into a new house. I'm here in my new office, and I also told you that with the channel we're going to be taking a little more of a DIY approach to things. Because of that, I'm going to be sharing my SimpliSafe install video with you guys. And you might be thinking, well, that doesn't really have anything to do with like electronics or computers or DIY stuff, but it kind of does. Everything is set up wirelessly. You can access everything from your phone. And, I mean, let's face it, with smart home features and everything, it kind of fits in with what we're doing here on the channel. So I have this big box of stuff, and let's go through it and start installing it. So first up, we have the heart of the system, which is the base station and the keypad. We have a couple of smart locks to install on our exterior doors. We have a couple panic buttons to spread throughout the house, a camera that I got for free with the discount code, and an extra siren. Next up, we have motion sensors, entry sensors for the doors and windows, some glass break sensors, and a water sensor. We've also got some smoke detectors and carbon monoxide detectors. And last but not least, we have some yard signs and window stickers to let everybody know that we're protected. Because we have these alarm panels all over the house, we do have to find the main control panel and cut the power to it so that we're not still using these the old chimes and stuff like that. Our old panel happens to be located in our closet, and so I need to get on my step stool here without falling off, and we need to do a couple things. It looks kind of scary, and it was for me at first too, but we need to take the battery out, or at least disconnect it, and then we need to disconnect power from the main board. And luckily mine has this nice little diagram here where it shows exactly where I need to disconnect the wires. So we'll go ahead and take care of those. We'll cap off the wires since they are live, and make sure that our panels are shut off. So you can see I capped off the power wires and disconnected them from the board up here. I also took these little clips off of the main battery. That's, well, one. There's the other. So battery is no longer in use, and now we just have to go make sure that our panels are actually off and that we got the right wires. This panel has nothing on the screen anymore, so I'm assuming it is all good, and I'm just gonna run around the house and check all the other ones and make sure that they are they're also blank. To set up the SimpliSafe system, we have to start with the base station and the keypad. So looks pretty straightforward. We just need to pull these little tabs to allow the batteries to work and plug in the base station.
Welcome to SimpliSafe.
So now I'm just following all of the on-screen instructions here so we can get the keypad set up. I'm going to start off with the motion sensor installs, and these are going to go in a slightly different spot than the old ones. So first we're going to remove the old one, and then we'll set up the new one. I want to jump in here with a little bit of a disclaimer. So when you're installing the SimpliSafe system, if you're following the instructions in the book, they kind of leave something out, and it's pretty important. If you order the base station and all of your devices on the same order, they actually pre-program it with all of your devices already set up. And it'd be cool if they told you that in the directions, because I was messing with it for a while before I even realized it. That being said, I did end up placing a second order because I decided to purchase a few extra things, and those do have to be set up manually. So with the first couple of items, we don't really need to do anything as far as setup, except for going into the app or on the pin pad and naming them. And then for the other devices, we'll actually have to configure them as it tells you to inside of the booklet. The next item I'm going to install is going to be the door sensors, but there's a little bit of a caveat to that. So you can use the sticky tape on the back, or you can use the included screws, but that's not necessarily the caveat. So if you look at the corner of the door here, the molding around it, it doesn't have a very flat surface here. And I think the piece that goes on the side here, it'll still work, but if not, I might have to shave this down a little bit so that they sit flush and the contacts connect to each other. Just something to keep in mind if you plan on installing door sensors. So I actually discovered that these door sensors are a little more forgiving than some of the other ones I've used in the past with other alarm systems. So if you can see here, I kind of put this across these two little ridges here at an angle. And I did that for all the doors, so they're not quite straight with each other, but it works great. Like I said, I did it on all the other doors, and it senses whether or not the door is open or closed every time, so works great. So next up, in each of the rooms, we're going to be doing a glass break and a smoke detector, and then just outside of the rooms, we're going to do carbon monoxide detectors. It's probably a little bit hard to tell on camera, but the ones that were in place before are a little bit bigger than the new SimpliSafe ones. So unfortunately, this is all going to have to be repainted, but we need to paint throughout the house anyway, so not really that big of a deal. All right, so here we've got an extra siren that we're going to install on the wall just so we can make sure that we hear the alarm if it ever goes off. Alright, so this is the smart lock from SimpliSafe, and it's a pretty nice looking unit here. We got the back side of the lock. It utilizes the other side of the deadbolt then, and it's got this little keypad here that you put on the outside of the door. You can either use the sticky tape or the screws that came with it, and I'm just going to stick it on with some sticky tape and call it a day. Alright, other than the window stickers and the yard stakes, the SimpliSafe camera is the last thing that I have to hook up. And I wouldn't have probably purchased this, but I did get it for free with a promo code on the website, so I figured I'll hook it up, give it a shot, and maybe try it out for a while and see how I like it. Alright, so with everything set up, let's talk about initial thoughts and how easy everything was to install. First off, I just want to say this video is not sponsored in any way by SimpliSafe. Obviously, I'm a small channel, so there's no way they would sponsor it, but just wanted to throw that out there and let you know that all of these opinions are my own. When it comes to installing everything, I will say that it took me probably about a full day to do it, but I was also recording the process to do everything, and so that took up probably more time than actually doing the install itself. Everything that I had could probably have been installed within like a couple of hours, and I probably even could have saved some time by using the sticky tape on the back instead of using the actual like screws and hardware to mount everything to the wall like I did. One thing that I noticed is that if you pay a little bit extra every month for SimpliSafe, you get access to the app, and the app is much easier to use than the pin pad when you're setting up new devices. Remember, if you order everything and it's on the same order as the base station, everything should be set up in the system for you when you receive it. But if you're like me and you place two separate orders, then it is much easier to set up new devices through the app on the phone. So I played around with the camera for a little bit, and I will say that it is better quality than I was expecting it to be. If I was going to upgrade my whole camera system, I don't know that I would go with the SimpliSafe cameras, only because I know that I can get better quality and more features out of different cameras. They'll probably be more expensive, so that is something to weigh in that decision. And also, having it integrate right into your alarm system is pretty nice, so I guess there's also that option to weigh. You could have basically an all-in-one system, or you could have your separate camera system. All right, so if you're gonna go all out and use SimpliSafe throughout your whole home, and you're going full coverage, so you're buying all sorts of different devices like glass breaks and door sensors and everything that you can, I will say that it gets pretty pricey pretty quickly. One thing I would recommend is waiting for a 30% or 40% off promo code. The promo code I ended up using was 40% off, plus I got a free camera with it, so it was a pretty good deal if you can afford to, you know, wait that long. Otherwise, everything was pretty good. It was a quick install. Everything was simple to install, so I can't really say I'd recommend it because I haven't actually fully utilized the system yet. So maybe in a few months, if you guys are interested, we can do just like a follow-up video. Let me know in the comments. Otherwise, that's all I got. If you have any questions on the SimpliSafe system or any of the devices that I connected, again, let me know in the comments and I'll get back to you. Otherwise, if you liked the video, give it a thumbs up and maybe consider subscribing. And with that, I'll just say thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.